Ah yes, The Voice UK, a spinning red chair, a dramatic button slam. One voice strong enough to stop the nation in its tracks, or at least it used to be. These days, it's basically karaoke night with fancy lighting. There was a time when The Voice UK was the talent show, the anti-X Factor, the one that said, we care about the voice, not the sob story. Or at least that's what they wanted us to think. Remember that? No, that's okay. Neither does anyone else. It used to feel fresh, different, like it had integrity, or at least it pretended to. No flashy outfits, no drawn-out drama, no producers lurking backstage trying to squeeze out tears. Just talent, pure and simple. Or so we thought. And the chairs. Oh, the chairs. That was the hook. That was the drama. That sharp thunk of the button, followed by that smooth theatrical spin, that was pure, uncut dopamine. Stronger than any Love Island finale. But fast forward 10 years and The Voice UK, it feels like a microwaved leftover from the golden age of talent shows. The vibe, Office the magic, gone. The chair spin, predictable. The stakes, basically zero. Once a cultural event. Now, just background noise while you fold laundry. The Voice UK launched in 2012, a time when we still believed in things, especially the idea that talent could be judged fairly, without bias. It appealed to a deep, almost idealistic desire for meritocracy, that if your voice was good enough, it didn't matter what you looked like, how old you were, or where you came from. YouTube wasn't fully poisoned by prank channels, Netflix was mailing DVDs, and people still tuned into TV like live. BBC One brought it over from the Netherlands, where the original format, The Voice of Holland, had already made waves by reinventing the tired talent show formula and proving that blind auditions could actually work, because nothing says British TV like a Dutch import, and it felt like the antidote to Simon Cowell's manipulative talent show factory. Coaches included actual legends, Sir Tom Jones, Jessie J, will.i.am, and Danny O'Donoghue. Okay, 3 legends and a guy from the script, but the chemistry worked, the premise worked. You had blind auditions, a strict focus on vocals, and no one judging based on looks, age, or backstory. A fair playing field. Revolutionary. And audiences ate it up. Peak viewership. Over 10 million viewers tuned into the premiere episode on BBC One. That's right, Zintermillion. People watched this show on purpose. But like any British TV moment, it didn't take long before we did what we do best. Ruin a good thing with overexposure, under-delivery, and the occasional scheduling disaster. There were iconic moments. Jessie J harmonizing live with a contestant. Monday like a pimp. Sir Tom Jones name-dropping Elvis casually. Viewers genuinely rooting for people based on their talent. What a concept. It felt intimate. It felt like watching lightning in a bottle. Someone stepping out of a mundane life into the spotlight, raw and unpolished but magnetic. A world where a postman from Hull could sing a ballad and get 4 chairs to turn without needing a tragic backstory montage in slow motion. So when did it start falling apart? Well, depends who you ask. But here's a clue when you have more former coaches than memorable winners. That's not a great sign. Jessie J left after season 2. Kylie Minogue appeared and disappeared like a glittery fever dream. Ricky Wilson stuck around longer than anyone expected. Paloma Faith, blink and you missed her. By season 5, the coaching lineup had become a revolving door. The chemistry faded. The banter felt forced. The excitement on life support. And then they dropped the bomb. They axed Sir Tom Jones. No warning, no farewell episode. Just a quiet thanks but no thanks via email. Let that sink in. You don't just email fire Tom Jones. That's not a contestant with a dodgy falsetto. That's Sir Tom. The man has sung with Elvis, Aretha, and literally has a knighthood for services to music. Fans were furious. Tom was blindsided. He later said he felt shocked and disappointed, which is polite Welsh for, I'm ready to burn the building down.
They're not renewing your contract on The Voice.
This wasn't just a bad decision, it was symbolic. The show that once prided itself on musical credibility had just kicked out its most credible voice. For no reason, no explanation, just corporate coldness. It was the first real sign that the heart of the show, the part that actually cared about the music, was being quietly removed behind the scenes. Shortly after came the switch. From BBC to ITV, like a band selling out to a dodgy label. Suddenly everything was shinier, glossier, louder, but also emptier. The tone shifted. More TV moments. Fewer spine-tingling vocals. More, your story is so inspiring. Less, your voice just blew me away. The show that once claimed to be above sob stories became just another sob story generator. cue drone shots, emotional lighting, and a carefully timed tear. And the contestants. The whole point was to discover unknowns, right? But by season 8, many of them already had managers, agents, and 30,000 followers on TikTok. How exactly is that undiscovered? It went from, we found this incredible voice in a pub in Leeds to, this is Amelia. She almost got signed by Universal, but then got ghosted by a label exec. And the winners, you remember them, right? No? Exactly. Like Kevin Sim, winner of season 5. Former Liberty X member, won the whole thing, got a record deal. And then, crickets. It's not that they're not talented, it's that the show didn't know what to do with them after the confetti fell. Try naming 3. Seriously, I'll wait. Still waiting. Because they vanish. Into the reality show. Abyss. A contract, a half-hearted single, and then radio silence. Imagine winning a national talent show and your biggest post-show gig is singing covers at a shopping center opening in Slough. That's not a career. That's a punchline. The format became a loop. Audition, chair spin, battle round, bland final, disappear. Rinse, repeat. Meanwhile, the coaches became the actual stars. Whole episodes revolved around their jokes, performances, and emotional anecdotes. The show shifted focus entirely. It wasn't about the singers anymore. It was about the coaches pressing buttons. The irony? Delicious. By this point, the contestants were barely the main event. It was about Ollie Murs' cheeky one-liners, will.i.am's soundboard impersonations, and Tom Jones casually name-dropping music royalty. Talent show or celebrity hangout? Hard to tell. The contestants? Just there to keep the seats warm. So, what was the moment we all knew The Voice UK was past saving? This is the core question of everything that follows, because behind every downfall, there's always that one moment. Simple. The moment no one cared who won anymore. Not the audience, not the producers, not even the winners. Back in 2021, Season 10 wrapped with yet another promising talent, Craig Eddy, the full package.
Oh my God!
Emotion, skill, a compelling story, arc, and yet his win barely made a ripple. No trending hashtags, no viral clips, not even a sarcastic meme roundup. In an online ecosystem where a raccoon making smoothies racks up more views than a national singing champion, you don't need a musicologist to tell you, this show's done. That's not just a glitch in the algorithm, that's a symptom of decay. The pivot toward celebrity coaching for clout was in full swing. Anne-Marie's arrival in season 10. That wasn't a nod to vocal coaching excellence. That was a marketing decision with glitter on top. A TikTok-compatible face for a TikTok-optimized format. Let's be clear, this wasn't about her. By season 10, casting for clicks had replaced casting for credibility. Every new coach felt less like a music mentor and more like a sponsored partnership. Anne-Marie's role, the ultimate synergy hire. They once fired Sir Tom Jones over email. Now they're onboarding brand deals in human form. Progress, a move less about elevating voices and more about boosting Spotify streams. It felt like a rebrand, a talent show reskinned as a scroll-friendly content machine, because nothing screams vocal integrity. Like, we need someone Gen Z might recognize from their gym playlist. What started as a talent show had now rebranded into a social media campaign in disguise, a platform built to chase virality, not develop artistry. And slowly, it spiraled into parody. Coaches hitting buttons just to look busy. Contestants pouring their hearts out, only to get a glazed-over smile and a recycled, "You smashed it, babe." At one point, will.i.am literally sat scrolling his phone during a performance. Not as a joke, not as a reaction, just scrolling, like someone killing time in a waiting room. There was a time when a chair turning meant something. Now it just means someone didn't want to look bored on camera. Every note had lighting cues, every pause felt rehearsed. Even the tears hit on cue, like sadness was part of the script.
And she passed away on Easter. And
At this point, even will.i.am's intergalactic metaphors couldn't distract from the collapse. When your voice is like an alien flower blooming in zero gravity, starts to feel like the highlight of the episode, you're not watching a talent competition anymore. You're watching a meme generator. So, where are we now? In 2025, The Voice UK feels like a parody of its former self. It's the TV equivalent of that one guy at the party who keeps telling the same story from 10 years ago, hoping someone will care. We've reached a point where the show's once refreshing format now feels more like a relic. Auditions are formulaic, emotional arcs are overproduced, and every dramatic pause feels algorithmically timed. Predictable song choices, fake rivalry between coaches, overproduced emotion, and worst of all, no stakes. You could replace the finalists with deepfakes and no one would notice. The internet turned on it too. Memes are brutal. There's one going around that shows 4 spinning chairs, and the caption, "When you realize it doesn't matter because they'll forget you by next week." Reddit threads are full of ex-fans saying things like, "I used to cry during auditions. Now I just fast forward to the chair turns like it's a drinking game." YouTube comments under recent clips, "A war zone. Another powerhouse vocalist doomed to disappear. Who's ready for another forgettable winner?" Harsh, but fair. Even the contestants seem to know. They go on the show to build a platform, not win. Because winning means what exactly? A 1-album deal no one promotes, a few press photos, and a single that drops off the charts faster than you can say, ITV budget cuts. It's no longer about the music. It's about maintaining the illusion that something important is happening. But viewers aren't dumb. People are hardwired to detect inauthenticity. And once they feel emotionally manipulated, they disengage. They've seen behind the curtain. They know the chairs don't mean anything anymore. They know the tears are pre-scheduled. They know that even a perfect voice isn't enough without a TikTok strategy. Could The Voice UK reinvent itself? Sure, if it had the guts. But it would take more than a new logo or a trendy coach. It would mean actually believing in new talent again, acting like it matters. A full-on reboot, not just a fresh coat of paint, but ripping it down to the studs. Scrap the stunt casting. Bring in coaches who actually want to mentor. Ditch the sob stories. Let the talent speak for itself again. Make the winner matter. Give them a record deal with a label that invests in their career, not just a press release and a shrug. But will that happen? Probably not, because reinvention is risky, and it's easier, safer, to let the show quietly fade into irrelevance while milking the format for whatever ad revenue's still dripping out. The Voice UK started as a revolution, a rebellion against the tired tropes of talent TV. Now it is the trope. Back in 2012, it gave people hope. A voice could change your life. A single spin of a chair could rewrite your future. But in 2025, a chair spin is just that, a chair spin. And that might be the saddest note of all. So what happened to The Voice UK? Once a platform for dreams, it's now just background noise in the playlist of TV history. If you made it this far without spinning your own chair in frustration, hey, maybe you should be the next coach. Smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and tell us in the comments, which talent show should we break down next? Because if we're going down this rabbit hole, we might as well bring popcorn.